So join us here at the stunning Anglesey racing circuit. We've got two rather nice supercars, the McLaren 720S and the Ferrari 488 Pista, and we're going to put these head to head on this very track. And you know, just to make it a little bit better, we've also got a European Le Mans champion racing driver, so let's hit it. Possible by BOTB. Now they give away a car every single week. You only have to be 16 years old or older to play, and you can play worldwide. Tickets start from just 85 pence and there's over 180 cars to choose from. Now, with almost £30 million worth of cars given away already, what are you doing? Go and get some tickets.
Okay, so first up we've got the Ferrari Pista, which is powered by a 3.9 litre twin-turbo V8. The Pista has 710 horsepower and 770 Newton meters of torque. Right, now we're using the International GP circuit. Ollie Webb has been out for a few practice laps, the car is up to temperature and the tyres are warm. Ollie's going to do 3 flying laps, we're going to take the fastest time and then Ollie's going to talk us through it. Crosses the line in the 488 Pista in 1 minute 32.2 seconds. And let's hear it from Ollie about the lap and what it's like to drive on the limit.
So we've just done a lap starting with the Ferrari Pista, obviously the newest of the Ferrari special edition cars, very, very track focused. Anglesey, a very technical track, a track that should really enable the Ferrari Pista to stretch its legs, mechanically very driven with the tight corners. It handled very, very well in the high-speed sections. Under brakes, the Ferrari Pista is unbelievable on initial bite, on initial hits. That first lack of speed as the car deteriorates really grabs you and kind of throws you towards the windscreen. So only having a lap belt was quite interesting, but it's definitely a 4-point harness or 6-point harness is recommended if you're buying this car. Towards the end, the brake fades just a little bit on the way in. Gears are very, very short, which means you're having to really concentrate as you're coming down the gears. From 6th or 7th especially, you're having to really come down all the way to 1st or 2nd to make use of these hairpins and make use of the available power that the Pista has. And then it really pushes you back into that seat after that braking on the acceleration on the exit. Again, gears are very closely matched together, much like the 488 is, which means you're constantly changing up a gear and it's very easy to hit that limiter. Overall, very well balanced. There's not a huge amount of oversteer or understeer in it. Most road cars have quite a bit of understeer mid to exit. The Ferrari was surprisingly well balanced towards mid to exit. You just have to be really patient on the throttle. The throttle's very, very sensitive. So holding too much throttle in the corner, as we can see in turn 1, it really starts to push me a little bit too wide. Same in the high-speed corner of 3 towards the exit, towards the C. So being patient on the throttle and waiting and sometimes even short shifting those gears can really help the car, and I found that today. and on the laps that we did today, it really benefited from getting the maximum lap time out of the car. Handling wise, it's very predictable. You can stretch the legs out of the corners, get it sideways very comfortably if you want to be. Obviously, that's not the quickest way to do it. So on our fast laps today, having TC half off on both the cars, both in their track functions effectively, so race on the Ferrari Pista and track on the 720S. The Pista was very nicely balanced, and keeping it just on its toes just before the point of opposite lock was the quickest way to drive the car. Yeah, one thing the Pista does really give you is that sense of it is a special edition car. Everything from the noise, the feel in the bucket seats, the way that the car slides, so when you're confident enough to turn everything off and the thing really is going sideways, you can tell it's been designed for every scenario and every purpose. And going sideways these days in a car, although it's not its main focus, if it can do it well, it tends to look pretty beautiful. And doing that at Anglesey with these views we've got over the mountains and the water is always a pinch yourself moment. And I think at the end of the day, no matter what lap time a car can do, if it can give you that feeling and that smile when you get out of it, then you've spent your money well.
The 720S is also powered by a twin-turbo V8, but this one's 4 litres, but it has the same 710 brake horsepower and 770 Newton meters of torque. Okay, now it's time for Ollie to jump in the 720S and head out for his 3 hot laps. Once again, we're going to pick the fastest time, and Ollie's going to talk us through it. The 720S crosses the line in 1 minute 33.05 seconds, meaning the 488 Pista takes the crown today, but it's just over half a second separating these two amazing supercars. So let's get back on board with Ollie and let's hear his analysis of that fast lap.
So McLaren 720S, a car I know very well. Driven it quite a lot. First time driving it here at Anglesey Circuit, and again, the braking on these cars, especially with the aerodynamics that the 720 has, it has that aid of the rear spoiler coming up as you hit the brakes, which the Pista does not. But that really helps pin the car down on initial braking. What the 720S is quite good at doing though is maintaining that braking all the way down to the apex. The gears are a lot more spread apart compared to the Pista, so we're not using as many gear shifts all the way through the lap. That has its pluses and negatives as well. It means the power's not quite as readily available as it is in the Pista because you have shorter gear ratios all the way through, but it does mean that you're less busy on the wheel. The 720S is a little bit too lively on the way in. It's been designed with an amazing drift mode, which when you want it to do that is great, but when you're in track mode and you want to push the limits of where we can find that extra bit of time, there's almost that false sense of security, which now I'm used to with the car. But if you're new to the car, as the car turns in, you'll find compared to the Pista on the onboard of my 720, the opposite lock starts to come in because the rear end gets a bit light and starts to lift up. Once you've let go of the brake, the air brake sits back down, and then it's all focused on getting the front end round. The smile's still on my face when I get out of that car. I feel like start moving it around and maybe see it drifting a little bit more, it'll get into its element again. But both very, very different cars in the way they produce a lap time, but very similar in what lap time they can produce.
That's the end of a fantastic day with beautiful weather and two incredible cars. There's going to be lots more coming from Supercar Driver and BOTB, so comment below to let us know what you'd like to see next. And again, a massive thanks to BOTB for sponsoring this video. For your chance to win a dream car from just 85p, go and get a ticket at botb.com now.